Hey everybody. Before we get started, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about our Patreon. At patreon.com/thenerdcult, you can help us in our attempt to bring you even more content beyond the general episode every 2 weeks. We have several tiers, ranging from $1 a month and up. Beyond the first, each tier grants you access to exclusive content before anyone else, including special episodes, video reviews, and more. No matter how much you decide to pledge per month, we appreciate your help in making this podcast the best it can be. Thanks. Hello there, followers. Welcome to the Nerd Cult, a not-so-secret society dedicated to all things nerdy. As usual, I am one-third your host, Tyler Lee.
And I am Brock Parsons, your other host.
He's back.
What?
Josh is back.
Impossible.
He's
back.
He has
Hey, guys.
returned.
We used a Phoenix down on him.
Phoenix, yeah. I needed it.
He's Phoenix down. Luckily, he wasn't a zombie, so it didn't kill him. Josh,
He wasn't even really dead, he was just
he was
being a doofus.
Now, Josh, the reason that you weren't here, if I recall, was you told us you were trapped in a terrible hell dimension. Can you tell us a little bit about how that was?
Well, in this hell dimension called home ownership.
Oh, I've been there. I've
yeah,
been there.
it's
wow.
I'm not
it's
there
a
yet.
dark, evil, lonely place. And it entices you. You want to be there. It sounds good at first. You know, you have your own place. And then these things called bills start to stack up.
I've seen some
you
of
don't
those.
pay them, people come and take you.
Bills are kind of like a status ailment.
Yeah.
For those of you who are play video games but don't really know anything about bills.
Yes, they're just like a status ailment, except there's no cure.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's these like if you've ever played a video game where your armor degrades over time, that sometimes happens to your house, and you have to pay for it.
Your house is taken after the hailstorm. Your house is taken -5 armor.
Yeah, we had a lot of HP damage to our electricity and plumbing, so had to fix all that. But we're top of the line now. I
Can
got
you take,
dragon armor.
Josh, can you guys take dookies now?
We
Are you guys
can.
good?
Isn't
Good.
that nice?
Wow.
You don't realize how amazing taking dookies in your own house is until you can.
Until you can't.
Don't know what you've got till it's gone. Yep.
Don't
And,
know what you got till it's gone.
If we could always talk about life events and life things in video game speak from now on, that would be great, because that worked out really well.
It makes sense.
I was just trying to make it a little more obvious to some of our younger viewers. Because, the bills don't go
Since
away.
we are
They're
millennials.
They're just on there. Yeah, millennials.
Home
We are
ownership
millennials.
is
Yeah.
it's a thing of the past.
The biggest problem for me was all the avocado toast. That's why I couldn't afford a house
Yeah.
at first.
If I could just stop spreading it on.
14,000 of them a year is what really did me in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those iPhones too.
I bought, 4 iPhone X's. It almost bankrupted me.
I was living in a box of iPhones.
Made of iPhones.
Made of iPhones.
Yeah.
And I was like, one day, this is no way to live. I gotta pull myself up, buy my own $1,500 bootstraps, and get to work like a real American. You know, that's how you do it. That's all you have to do is go out there and get a job.
Yeah, just
Easy as that.
It's that easy.
just jump in the job pool, take a little dip, and then drown in it. Drown in all those jobs. They're out there
Yeah.
They're out there.
constantly.
Nobody needs experience for anything.
No, a high school diploma, don't need it.
Don't need it.
Just go to the factory,
Walk into your law office, say, "Give it to me."
Go to the factory
that job.
if there is
start a family.
if there's a factory, because you live in pre-90s middle America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, I'm looking forward to being a robot. Because that's who's going to take all our jobs.
Eventually, automation is going to replace me, and I'm I'm looking forward to it.
Are
I
you?
can't wait.
Have you seen The Matrix?
Yeah, it seems like a pretty sweet life.
that's what I thought when I saw that movie.
Swimming
Hang
in the
out in a
tube
little
all day.
tube, yeah.
It's like that's pretty sweet. All right.
The nice thing is, like, we're already there. Like, this is the Matrix, so like, you think all
Yeah.
those coincidences aren't? Yeah, no.
Deja vu.
This is it.
This
Matrix.
This is it, guys. This is the best they could do. So I hope you're having a good time.
Well, that is what
This
what's his name thinks. I can't remember his name now.
Elon Musk.
Yes,
John
that's what
Bon
Elon
Jovi.
Musk
Oh.
thinks.
With his flamethrowers.
With his flamethrowers. So we
don't
all right.
really
So
know
they did make it onto the
the full
show. I
story.
wasn't sure.
Yeah. We talked
We had a-
about him, but
Hearty discussion about his new portable flamethrower right
Yeah.
before the show.
Ah, now that's a good segue. Thank you. Speaking of portable flamethrowers, here at the Nerd Cult, we're doing a giveaway.
ooh, well,
Now,
is it a flamethrower?
yes, or
Yeah.
or three other things,
And or
three other things. You get to choose.
Okay.
Flamethrower or one of the three other things. Now-
little addendum. You can't have a flamethrower because we don't have one.
Ah,
I don't have one to give away.
That's kind of in the that's in the fine print.
that's the asterisk right next to it,
That's
and
yeah.
that's down in the footnotes. What you
You can't
what you
even
can
find the
do.
asterisk.
What you can do is you can go on Twitter and find the tweet that has the video about the giveaway in it, which I'll put in the show. I'll put in the show description, so you can just click on that. Go there, retweet it, and give us a follow. If you already follow us, then just retweet it. Retweet it with the hashtag #TheNerdCult, and you will be entered for a chance to win one of 3 prizes. What are they, you ask? Go watch the fucking video.
You lazy millennials.
You lazy millennials.
You want us to do all your work for you? Get out there and watch the video.
Can't find it? Just like the page, you doofus.
You dingus?
Despite our insult to you, if you could actually follow us on Twitter, though, and do that, that'd be great. We'd really,
We'd really
appreciate
appreciate
it.
That's the
Please.
system. We insult you, and then we come crawling back, begging for forgiveness and reciprocation. And
That's what marketing's all about.
It's a really abusive
Yeah.
relationship, really.
Yeah.
It's unhealthy.
It is. But
Sorry, guys.
anyways, the reason you all came here, hopefully, nerdy shit that we've done lately.
Woo.
Why don't I start, especially since Josh has such a special segment that I will not go on after, because I don't think I'll be able to follow that. I'll start. I got to pick up Monster Hunter World this week.
Jealous.
You should be, because I've been a big Monster Hunter fan since the PSP days, Monster Hunter Freedom, and man, I'll say this, and this is not going to change. I already have a Game of the Year contender.
Wow.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
early.
I'm not saying
That's
it's going to
incredible.
win, but when we talk about it in December, this game's going to come up. I promise.
That is confidence.
Mhm.
I've heard
Wow.
really good things about it.
It's so
Same.
good, especially since they, as a fan of Monster Hunter, if you've played Monster Hunter, you know there is some annoying stuff in it.
Well, I've never played. Is this like the best
Same.
one
This
to join
is-
in? Or?
This is by far the best one they've done, visually, gameplay-wise. They got rid of so many annoying things. Like, trying to think of like some of the stuff. Like, you don't have to worry about, people who've played will know what this is. Like, when you'd go out into a quest, you used to have to make sure, like, I gotta have my bug net so I can catch like some bugs. I gotta have my pickaxes so I can mine for ore. All that stuff. You don't gotta worry about that anymore. You just have it, and they don't break.
Nice.
You just go and gather. You don't need any of that stupid stuff.
It's not like owning a home.
No,
Yeah.
it's not anything like owning a home.
It's not work.
Nope, you can.
That's what I love in video games is chores. Just-
Right. So now, if
Yeah.
you want to gather stuff, you just can. They're not like, make sure you
Oh,
got your
nice.
pickaxes and stuff. Nope, you already got it. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. Just do it while you're hunting monsters.
That does sound
Awesome.
fun instead of tedious.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, I'm surprised it took them this long, but you can now see the upgrade trees for your weapons. Before, you just kind of had to be like, what's the next one? Okay, I know
Just
that.
guess.
I want that. But you didn't know what came after it. Now you can see the full upgrade trees for all your weapons and stuff.
Hey, how nice.
Yep. That and just a multitude of other things that they've tweaked. The controls feel a lot tighter. Combat's a lot better. The game itself is, which you guys can attest, you've seen some of the previews and stuff. The game is just pretty.
It's
Yeah,
definitely pretty.
I've always wanted to play any Monster Hunter, but like, the main concept I assume is you go out and kill monsters, right?
It is like the big stuff that you see in the commercials and stuff. You go out and you're part of like a village or something, or like some big like kind of old school settlement and like trading area.
Is it like bounty hunting, or is it like
Well, yeah,
protecting
there's
the
like
village?
yeah, there's like jobs that get posted. It's like this monster's doing like this big creature's doing this. We need you to go because it's like upsetting the ecosystem, or it's like attacking other villages, or all kinds of stuff. And it's like put out a contract on it, go hunt it, or go capture it, or some of the villagers will be like, we need you to go gather like some of this stuff and some of this stuff. And so you do those missions, and the big thing is the monster hunting, the giant creatures that are part of the ecosystem that you go and hunt, and you can make armor and weapons from their stuff, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Nice.
Do you always kill them, or do you have to like capture some sometimes?
Nope. You can. Sometimes you have to slay them. Other times they'll specifically require you to capture them. Sometimes you get to pick. Capturing them will usually get you better rewards, and that's still true in this one.
Nice.
Because it's harder to capture them because you can't kill them. I was going to say, one of the things I really like about Monster Hunter World is, before, it kind of just felt like you were going out, and you'd go out into some pretty cool areas that had a bunch of different creatures and stuff, but it kind of just felt like the developers were, alright, so let's put some herbivores here, and then a couple of, like, the big monsters. And it didn't feel like they really intermixed or anything like that. It kind of just felt like it was put there, video game wise.
Sure.
Now you can actually go and observe, and if you're not spotted, everything interacts with everything. Like, there'll be several big creatures in like the areas, and you can, if you watch them and they don't spot you, you'll watch them attack a herd of other creatures and just eat them, or go do like something else that they would normally do like in their normal everyday life.
So it actually is like an ecosystem.
Yeah,
That's
it is an
kinda
ecosystem
fun.
where everything kind of
Makes the game feel more real.
It does, which is
That's what I was gonna ask. Is it like if you fail to kill a certain monster, or if you choose to not kill, will it affect other things in the world?
Now, it doesn't quite have that, although I feel like that is definitely a future Monster Hunter thing, where it's like you have choice. But no, it doesn't have that. There's not like consequences for failing or anything. That's where it's kind of old school video gamey, where it's like if you fail, you get another chance. Like if you die, you just go do the mission again.
That's not bad.
That's not bad, but that is a cool thing where that might be something that I'd like to see later.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Fair.
oh, you failed. Well, you don't die, but this part of the forest is now overrun, or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I will say the ecosystem part and having everything be connected is even better now, because used to you'd go to like an area that's called like the forest or something, or the tundra, and there'd be several different areas that you'd go to, and every time you went to a different area, it would load. Not anymore. Now the big map, all the areas are connected, no loading. So it's all just one huge, massive thing.
Oh my gosh. The future.
I know.
Is there like an end to the game, or is it?
I mean, there's an end to the story. I'm not there yet. Honestly, I've been playing for like 15 hours, and I've only done like 4 or 5 main mission quests. I've just been exploring and doing all the stuff that you can do outside of the missions, because you don't have to do the missions right away if you don't want to.
Nice. So it kind of works like the Elder Scrolls series, where you have a main story, but you can do a million other things.
The missions, the more you do in the missions, the more areas get unlocked and the more creatures. But if you're not really worried about that right now, like if you're just thinking, hey, here's some cool armor, I'd like to get this before I like go on and fight stronger things or go to a different area, then you can just do that for hours and, explore stuff.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It does sound awesome.
So
That's
there
my
is
favorite type of open world game, I think.
Yeah. So there is an end. There is an end to the story, but that doesn't end the game, because there's also the huge multiplayer element where you can just keep hunting bigger and stronger things with friends online and keep earning money and keep making weapons and armor and keep going up in hunter rank.
Nice.
Is the story compelling, or is it just like cookie cutter?
Funny enough,
Kill all these monsters.
it's actually pretty compelling. I mean, it's still Monster Hunter. It's not the deepest story you've ever heard, but
Yeah.
different than most Monster Hunters have always been, hey, there's this giant like elder dragon or giant creature that's like kind of like a godlike thing, and it's messing with stuff. And
But you are
you're gonna
not
work
anywhere
your
strong
way.
enough to-
Yeah, you're not strong enough. You're gonna work your way, and it's messed with the ecological stuff here. You're gonna work your way up and fight it. No, like
Nice.
barely any cinematics, like hardly at all, and it's just filled with missions of go hunt a few of these, go hunt one of these, go hunt 7 of these, go gather 7 of these, blah blah blah. Now there's several cinematics I've already experienced with the updated graphics. It's really, really good. So they've thrown in cinematics. The story's a little bit deeper. It's still that basic thing, but there's like more people involved. There's more characters. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Definitely more compelling than previous ones.
Right. That's
Excellent.
what I was always worried about, was that, I mean, I love hunting monsters and everything, but I didn't know if there was enough depth in the older video games to give it a whack.
No. And
The old college try.
well, and I like now they also did away with another annoying thing in Monster Hunter was you would unlock different like hunter ranks in the village you were trying to save, and they would be like, all right, finish off these quests, and then you'll get an urgent quest to go hunt a big monster or something that'll continue the story. Now you do a mission that is story based, and then right after that, if you want to go on right to the next one that's story based and moves the story along, you can. And you can just keep
Nice.
doing that if you want to do the story, or you can go hunt monsters that don't have anything to do with the story if you'd like.
It's so modernized.
Yep.
Again, I love that type of open world experience where it's like mixed up like that. Like you can go do the long, insane story if you want to, or you can just explore the world. It's up to you. That's a good way to do it.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
And typical Monster Hunter fashion, all the weapons are super unique to use, so you won't get bored.
Nice.
That sounds like the most fun, is like taking the monsters that you've taken down and using them for weapons and armor and stuff.
I've already made a few. It's called an insect staff, and it's basically this big long glaive that you use to
Nice.
do like martial arts moves, like you spin it and like hit them and do like flips and stuff, and you can vault into the air. And I made one out of a poison monster that I killed. I had to kill him like 3 times to get all his stuff, but then I made his armor, which makes me look like a mix between a plague doctor and an Assassin's Creed assassin.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And I got an insect glaive that is made from his parts, and it like is poison, so I can now
That's
inflict
cool.
poison. And that's just one thing. So
Do you have to choose like what you're good at, like archery or long swords or anything like that, or are you good at everything?
well, each weapon's used very differently, so you will find that you're better with some. I have
As an individual or as like the character in the game?
as an individual. It doesn't really
Gotcha.
like you can use whatever weapons you want. It doesn't matter. It all depends on
Gotcha.
how good you are with them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what's cool is like every Monster Hunter game, you start out with one of every weapon to give a try. And then when you figure out
Nice.
which ones you want, you can do like you can keep them all, or you do like I do. I know like the 4 weapons that I use, and I don't ever use the other ones, and I sell the other ones. I use like dual blades, insect glaive, a bow gun, and a long sword, and then I sell
Cool.
all the other ones.
Nice. It's an interesting way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
So you can kind of play any way that you want. Like you can be stealthy and long range, or you can beef
Yep.
yourself up. And
I mean, there's not a
That's
lot
cool.
of stealth. There's some stealth when you're like stalking the monster, like observing them and stuff. Once the fight starts, there's not a whole lot of stealth. Although you can
Yeah.
hide from them if they either like doing a little too much to you. You can try and hide from them. But yeah, you can choose to be like, I'm the fast guy who gets in there and like hits and hits and hits and dances away and doesn't get hit. Or you can be like, I got a great sword. I just deal a lot of damage and just stay in there. Or you can have the guns or the bows and stay back long range and just take shots at them. then
How
a bunch
does
of stuff in
damage work?
between.
Is it like you can recover after a while, or do you have to collect health, or what?
You can craft items like potions and antidotes and stuff like that to cure poison, to cure to up your health and stuff like that. That stuff hasn't changed from Monster Hunter, but they made it a little bit more streamlined. It's a little bit easier to make stuff now.
Nice.
And then also when you go off on a hunt, the village gives you like a little bit, but you always want to take more because they don't give you very much.
Right.
You want to make sure that you've crafted like enough potions and enough stuff.
That sounds legit.
It is. It's very fun. It's like I said, it's definitely gonna come up again when we talk about Game of the Year at the end of the year.
Nice.
I'm currently working on a video review for it, so there'll be a video review and probably a written review going up on our site pretty soon.
The old Patreon.
Well, I say pretty soon. It's probably
In time.
Soonish.
yeah, it's probably gonna be like a week or two, but
Oh well, it'll be there.
it will be
Yeah.
there.
If you do the old Patreon, you get all those extra goodies.
Yep. You get all the video reviews and all the videos we do.
Delicious.
Only cost
Meaty.
you a few dollars a month.
Is that sausage?
Is that sausage?
Cheese and sausage.
Well,
Speaking of sausage,
speaking of
Oh my,
all
that's
right.
the segue.
that is the segue
you know
he
what's coming up.
chose.
Yeah. It's the Super Bowl next Sunday. And, with sausage comes connected with that balls.
I can't even right now.
We're talking about food that you eat at Super Bowl parties. You got your brats, you got your meatballs, you got your sandwich balls. I don't know.
Sandwich ball.
But given the time, 'tis the season,
Tis the season.
'tis the season.
Are you just saying words?
Tis the season for balls.
Josh is actually Trump's speechwriter. I don't know if you knew that.
If you
Just put a bunch of
if
words
this sounds
down.
familiar, yeah. But I figured, what better thing to do, in the holiday spirit, than put together a list of the best nerdy balls.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he thought to do,
Yes.
and he did it.
It's the Super
Not
Bowl.
sport games necessarily. Not football games necessarily. The best balls.
The best
That's
balls,
right.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
And I'm very interested in this. So, Josh, why don't you take us there?
Well, I mean, at any
Start us
time
out.
you can add your own balls. I mean, this
think
is
Believe it or
just
not,
my
balls
thing.
are a pretty prevalent theme in nerd culture, and especially in video games.
I mean,
Maybe
yeah.
because it's like just a real common shape, really easy.
Not. Yeah, well, yeah, not many people know this, but like about 50% of the human population has balls.
Wow.
So,
Just
Huh.
about.
About.
yeah,
Close.
I mean, depending on which country you're in. China, it's a little bit more. I mean, America's probably 50-50, close to.
All right.
So in some ways, you would say that 50% of the population, or maybe even more, has less than 2 balls. So they're dwindling.
Technically, yeah. Well, it depends. Close to 100%. People don't know this. Close to 100% of people have balls in their head. Eyeballs.
Whoa!
You've heard of 'em.
Whoa!
Where are we going? I don't. Like I was on board, but I feel like I fell off. I'm trying to catch up. I'm running behind the car right now.
I'm trying to connect to the audience out there.
Okay.
Everybody has balls in their life.
Thanks for slowing down for me.
So to connect this with video games, for instance, the biggest internet ball that I can think of is in Katamari Damacy, where you start out
Oh boy.
just
yeah.
maybe with one little tiny object. Maybe it's a kernel of corn. You start rolling it around, it gets sticky and connects with other little tiny objects, and eventually You're picking up houses and pushing around the biggest ball in town.
Really
pretty
destroying
much
property, really.
Killing people,
Killing people.
eventually picking up humans and animals.
Horribly violent, horribly violent game.
Really, it's not a game for children.
Really. It reminded me a lot of Berserk, the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Just with the wanton gore.
Just
found
a little...
found in Katamari
I mean,
Damacy.
Katamari is a little more NC-17 than that, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
dirty, filthy scourge of society. Who's the god? Is his name Katamari?
What was his name?
I feel like it was something
Isn't it
weird.
like the King of Cosmos or something?
King of all cosmos. Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it was. Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Not many
incredible.
people know this either, but he has quite the bulge.
That's actually accurate.
Look it
He
up.
did have a huge
That is.
bulge.
There's video evidence of that.
That is quite large. I mean, he is king of all cosmos.
Tyler, what's your
Man.
favorite video game ball or balls of all time?
My favorite video game balls of all time, or ball, I guess. Well, I guess there's more than one. Would probably be Super Monkey Ball,
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
which Brock was kind enough to point out because, as I told him, Super Monkey Ball doesn't populate a large part of my brain.
Sure.
But once it was mentioned, I remember, like a lot of people, I lost a lot of time to Super Monkey Ball.
I heard it was
Yeah,
really
we don't-
addictive. I mean,
We don't.
It's very addictive.
like nobody talks about Super Monkey Ball anymore.
One of the more addictive balls in video games.
For sure.
They have it for 3DS now.
Another important fact about video game balls. Metroid can turn it into a ball. She doesn't
Yeah.
crawl.
That she can.
Yeah, she turns into a ball.
Samus Aran,
You can use her to get out of some
ball girl.
out of some situations.
She's a girl with balls.
Yep.
Eyeballs.
Balls in the gameplay. Balls mostly transforms into a ball.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
much
it.
that's
She's
how
ball.
that goes.
Reminds me of another fantastic video game ball, which is Rocket League, which is probably the closest thing
Oh my
to the
gosh,
Super
yes.
Bowl that I can think of.
That's the closest.
It's the closest
It is
thing
a
in the fact
sport.
that it's emulated from soccer, and soccer's a sport like football.
Yeah. I guess you
Speaking of Pokemon Crystal, have you ever looked
Oh,
at
we're
Beartic's
segueing back to
bulge?
that. All right.
Well, Beartic's a Pokemon, and he has. Whew. I don't know,
There
man.
is just a big.
There's a lot of
fuzzy
bulges in video games.
Yeah,
area
I wanna say-
right there.
That Josh, I hate you for bringing this up because I didn't even think about it until you mentioned it and showed me a picture, and now all I can think of is why is the fur ruffled right there?
Why did they
Right?
do
That's
that?
weird.
Except
Why
to
would
make
you
him have
draw
a
I
huge
like
bulge.
Beartic. Like, especially he got a nice buff in the new ones, and now he just got you got to deal with the bulge. I mean, in the video
Battle of
games,
the bulge.
I mean, in the original video games, you don't see it, but like in the anime, yeah, Bulge City.
Well, anime is far more dirty than video games, so
Like, I imagine if you put a skin-tight suit on Beartic, it'd look a lot like Goblin King, David Bowie. Look a lot like that
it
bulge.
would look a lot like that.
Yeah, and he would
And
just be
that's-
ripped too.
Whew.
Mm.
Whew.
Don't
Really,
even start.
David Bowie was kind of the bulge king. He started the bulge.
That is
He
the
did.
hottest Arctic bear I've ever seen.
That is Brock, you make a very good point, of which I
Thank
won't,
you.
The king of the
which I won't
bulge.
continue. I just wanted to say that you made a good point.
Well, thank you.
You've heard of the
Yeah.
Battle of the Bulge? Now the king of the bulge.
On a somewhat more serious note, I was going to mention that I think Uncharted as a sports game, it doesn't really have balls, but we started out talking about sports games, and I was like, parkour.
Thanks for leading in with on a more serious note. Thanks for leading in with that.
More
It's not going to
serious.
last very long, but he does do parkour. Nathan Drake does a lot of
It does
parkour.
do a little bit of parkour.
And, I mean, that guy checks his testicles every month. He does.
You know he does.
Everyone
He
should.
says
Full
so.
of testosterone.
He says so in the games. I mean,
Full of testosterone.
So remember, kids, check your balls. He turns to the camera. Am I the only one who's seen that cutscene?
it's the much talked the much talked about, but often, thought to be a myth. Nathan Drake. Nathan Drake prostate.
He finds
pitch
the city of gold
cutscene.
finally, and then turns to the camera. You know what this gold reminds me of?
They added a second disc just for that cutscene.
Just for that, it was a
Second
weird thing
disc.
to do because that cutscene doesn't take up that much
It was
space.
bold. It was brave. It was during a dark time when we didn't talk about testicular health.
Especially not in video games. Actually, we pretty much still don't talk about it in video
Especially
games.
not on podcasts, I bet.
Right?
Well-
Why is that? Come on.
Especially this time of year. 'Tis the season.
'Tis the season, folks. Every Super Bowl. Get your balls checked.
I hope we can make this a thing. Where it's a real holiday. Everybody gets their testicles checked this time of year.
The Sunday before
Um,
the Super Bowl.
Believe it or not, you can check your own testicles with your own bare hands.
Now, Brock,
Be
what do you
very-
mean by that? Could you explain that?
You just reach on
gentle.
down there. You want to make sure that there's just normal, smooth surfaces on your testicles. If you feel anything kind of weird, you feel a lump or not smoothness, you're going to want to go get it checked out.
Go
But
to
you
the
can do that
doctor.
yourself. And I mean, you can have a friend do that, but you're going to want to have consent. That's the other important thing about the Super Bowl. And pretty much every
This-
other time, facet of your life, you're going to want to not,
Yeah.
force somebody into something they don't want to do.
Yeah, that's good advice for life. Consent. Period.
Yeah. And so, really, that's the
But
spiel
especially
about
on Super Bowl.
checking your balls around Super Bowl time. And probably, I don't know how often they tell you to do it.
Now I
like
think we
once
should
a month.
make something clear because we keep saying check your balls around Super Bowl time. Don't check them at the Super Bowl for a couple of reasons. Number one, that's public. Don't do that. Number two, it's February. That's cold.
That's That
could be
Especially
damaging
if you're
and
in
it's going to be difficult to
Minneapolis.
check.
Yeah.
Especially
You
if
could
you're in
make
Minneapolis. I can
Your own
attest
new
it's going
Super
to be
Bowl
cold.
party, though. I mean, just invite, some friends over. Make sure everybody knows what it is. This is a
Consent,
ball checking
remember.
party. We're not
Yeah.
even going to watch the game. You eat some chips, and when you're done, you just reach in
We
your
don't even
pants,
have
you
a
check 'em out.
TV here.
Now you
Pull
eat-
your pants down.
Now you eat the chips first, obviously, because that'd be gross otherwise. You need to wash your hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Wash
please
your
don't double
hands.
dip. Not
No
especially
Cheeto
not
dust.
afterward.
Well, that's just courtesy, I feel like. Like, don't double dip.
Yep.
I mean,
Sure.
Wash your hands before and after.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right,
you
just-
go back to those chips.
don't be a monster.
And then after the party's over, go ahead and wash your balls too, in case you did get chips on.
At your friend's house, please ask them
They
if you,
want
could
Cheeto
use their,
dust.
if you could use their facilities.
Well, every good
Ball
ball
washing
checking
sink.
party has a ball washing bowl. Preferably brass.
Just like the times of ancient Rome.
Tepid water.
Ask to make sure the bowl's not filled with Jello first. You don't want to do that.
Wait,
really
That-
cold.
that is a common
We've
mistake.
all been there.
No, no.
We've
no,
all
no,
been
No, no, we're not going past this. I want to ask.
Boy, was
Uh,
my face red.
Why is my face this red? why would there be Jello in the bowl, Brock?
It's just the Jello bowl.
That's
It's
just
the part.
Sticking your
it's at
balls in it.
every
Yeah.
every party.
This could not have had a better answer. Just the Jello bowl. What do you want?
Here's a good ball.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we were
Earth.
talking about something.
Yeah, we were talking about something super serious. What's that, Josh?
Planet Earth.
Oh my gosh.
Nerds live here. Nerds were invented here.
Mm.
Guess what
Mine.
else was invented here?
Mind blown.
Math.
Mm.
Guess
Video
what
games?
else? Games, video games,
Yeah,
Dungeons and
guessed right.
Dragons,
I guess.
dragons.
Now, did
I
dragons
mean-
have balls?
I think they're inside their bodies. I think they're called gonads.
So are wait. So is
Earth is one big gonad, is what you're saying.
Planet Earth.
Wait, are you
Number one
saying
goat.
that everybody
Outside
else's
the-
balls aren't on the inside?
Wait. I mean, they're not dangling. That's
What kind
I
of
mean.
Super Bowl parties have you been
Okay,
having?
there you go. Now that you've clarified,
I was worried about you for a second, Tyler.
I was worried about you for a second.
Okay. Yeah, that whenever you check your balls, make sure, if you're a human, that they're currently away from the body in
But also,
the scrotum, what is called the scrotum.
yes.
I mean, I think that's it doesn't happen to me, but I've heard that sometimes it can go back up into your stomach area.
Bloodstream. Oh, yeah.
No,
Bloodstream.
The bloodstream.
Apparently, that's. I mean, as long as it doesn't stay there forever, you're fine. But I mean, it
If
stays
it's
there
cold
for, like,
enough, like during the Super Bowl in
it could happen.
Minnesota, yeah.
It's pretty cold. Yeah.
I hear it gets very
We're
cold.
spreading some awareness today.
It's all right,
Well, Josh,
guys.
are there any other video game balls? Is that it? Any other nerd balls that you can think of?
There are a few. I'm just gonna run through,
Just a quick run through.
just quick run through.
Okay.
You guys have covered most of my list, but Conker's Bad Fur Day, second boss, Balls of Brass.
Oh,
It's also
You
a
gotta
poop
beat
monster,
up-
but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, the
sure.
poop ball. Yeah.
Poop.
There's a little game called Muscle March.
There aren't-
Bulge City.
The bulge. Okay. Well, yeah.
Those, even Brenda has a few balls. Blitzball,
Blitzball.
There you
right?
go.
Final
Yeah.
Fantasy X.
Hey, yeah.
Final Fantasy X.
Many an hour wasted. Well, it wasn't time wasted. It was totally worth it.
It was kind of wasted a little bit.
It was kind of.
Let's be honest. It wasn't super fun, and it was really just to get Waka's stuff.
That's all it was for. Yeah.
Not a lot of people
Just-
actually like Blitzball. Let's be
No.
honest.
Yeah, you just do it over and over. Pretty much the same thing. There's a little game called Halo, and there's this thing that you can do whenever you have defeated your enemy, and it's kind of a crude term. Have you ever used tea?
Now tell me, Josh, what does tea have to do with this?
At first I was like, I have no idea. But whenever you think about it, you know, tea usually comes in little bags.
Mm.
You dip it in water,
Yeah.
right? Well, what else does that resemble but a scrotum with two balls
Oh.
being dipped into your opponent's face?
Is that what
Talking
it looks
about,
like?
of course, teabagging. Yeah.
Because
Teabag,
that's
yeah.
what it looks
Yeah.
like.
So now we really
Just
get
a
it.
little dip, dip.
There used to be a
just-
Wikipedia article on teabagging, and it had this picture from like the 90s, because I mean it had all this JPEG compression, and it was just some girl like laughing as somebody put his testicles on her head, and that was the whole thing. Like somebody had a Wikipedia Commons public domain image for that.
Like
It just,
on her head.
they just made it
that
look
could be
like
a
so
Mickey
much
Mouse
fun.
I think that was the most early 2000s thing you've ever said. Like the entire paragraph that you just said.
Right.
All right,
That's
to
incredible.
my top two though.
Oh.
Best balls.
Okay.
Duke Nukem's Balls of Steel
Balls of Steel.
and Dragon Ball.
Wow. So, talking about Dragon Ball.
There are Super Dragon Balls now.
That's
Super
right,
Dragon
folks.
Ball's the
That's what this
size
whole segment was leading up to.
of a planet. Balls the size of a planet that you can make any
Balls.
wish on.
You sat
Um,
through that entire discussion, folks. Here
So
it
we
is.
could get to Dragon Balls, the best
Guys,
balls.
what about Dragon Ball?
Well, Dragon Ball Super
Rumor.
is
The
alleged to be ending.
scuttlebutt.
Alleged.
Ending.
That's the
And not even
scuttlebutt.
just alleged, but, I mean, they pretty much said
Pretty
in
much.
its current form, it's going to be ending, at least for now. So that's kind of sad.
Which
That's a sad
worries
way to
me.
end all that.
It really worries me.
Yeah.
But I have
I'm a bit
hope.
worried. I do too. I'm in the same boat because there's just too much that came up for them to completely drop it all off. And it's kind of at the height of its popularity right now. I mean, it's killing it in the ratings.
A lot of people are
Killing
loving the tournament right now.
That said, it doesn't surprise me that they want to take a break, because they've just been going nonstop since I think 2013. I can't remember exactly when it all started,
it's
but
nuts.
I mean, since the first movie, basically, they've just been animating nonstop. And I
This
hear
is
the
all-
hours are killer.
This is all
Which
season
blows
1.
my mind.
Yeah, all basically season
Yeah, it's
one.
all just
Season 2 starts 2019.
And keep this in mind, they already confirmed a new movie for December, I think. So
Yes.
no matter what, there's gonna be more. And I mean, maybe they'll change the super tagline to something else. Maybe it'll be a new show.
That's
Maybe
what
it'll
I'm
just be
hoping.
maybe it'll just be a drop off for now. We may just get to the last episode of the Universe Survival arc, and they're just like, next time on Dragon Ball Super, and we just
Yeah,
gotta
it might
wait.
be like Super 2,
Ooh,
Dragon Ball Super Duper.
Super. Well, if it's anything like the original Super Saiyan Blue name, which is Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, then yeah, it might be something
Yeah.
like that.
That's,
They
go-
they have
that.
this. The same people
Dragon
who
Ball
named
Super.
Nintendo consoles actually named the Super Saiyans.
Right, yeah.
The new Dragon Ball Super. Yeah,
Dragon Ball Super 2 Electric Boogaloo.
that'd be pretty awesome.
It's
as a
all
name.
it's all disco.
I'm actually looking forward to the movie. Because say what you will about Dragon Ball Super's animation. I mean, it's not as good as, like, back in the day, obviously. But it definitely picked up after the first, like, couple story arcs. Those movies, however, those are just gorgeous.
No
I
doubt.
love the new I don't know what the style is called, but it's like dark outlines. It just
Yep.
looks so good.
Yeah,
And
mixed
it
with
like calls back to the manga anyway. So
definitely
I don't know,
whatever
I
they're
just-
using
beautiful.
some type of colour filter too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the animation has improved like phenomenally. Like some of the fights, the fight with Khalifa comes to mind.
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap! Like it's up there. It's not the movies, but it's up there. I mean, it's crazy how far they went in terms of
that
animation.
freaking spinning Kamehameha scene
Like,
is like burned into my brain. So
there's
good.
some cool crap to look forward to if you're not caught up on Dragon Ball Super.
Which you need to. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you need to. And especially now that it's ending, now is the perfect time to start. Hopefully
Yeah,
it's not ending for
maybe-
good.
Maybe the dub will catch up by the time the Japanese version is ready to start again. And
And that's what a lot of
we
people
could
are
have dubs.
saying. I don't know if anybody knows this. It's one of the few animes where the manga is actually behind on the anime. It's
Yeah.
the opposite of even early Dragon Ball. So basically, this animator, and I actually knew this before the show even started. One of the most popular fan mangas of Dragon Ball Z was done just by this just random dude in Japan. He made a thing called Dragon Ball AF, and it was kind of
Yeah.
it took some of the lore of all these like fake rumors in early internet days about a new Dragon Ball series coming out, and he basically tried to like make his own. And he's just such a good animator that they actually hired him on when Dragon Ball Super started. And he was such a good animator even still that Toriyama put him at the head of the manga. So basically he's just in full control of the manga. And he said the manga is going to continue. So at the very least it'll probably catch up and go maybe past or get caught up at least, and then they'll start over maybe. I
I
don't know.
remember Dragon Ball
No.
AF. Like, that was some late 90s stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
the rumors
remember
started
that.
back then. Yep, I don't know exactly when he made his manga because Dragon Ball AF was based off just some fake image somebody made, like, yeah, in the 90s. And then I think,
crazy.
I can't remember what year he made his manga, but it was kind of just taking some of that folklore, I guess.
Wasn't it also like Dragon Ball AF was where you supposedly saw that image of Super Saiyan 5, which doesn't
Yep.
exist, but
Yep, that doesn't exist.
and it was basically like Super Saiyan 3, but their hair was turned white and like
Yep.
they were outlined and kind of had the same body type as like Super Saiyan 4 where they were like part ape.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
there's some crazy stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Dragon Ball
love-
Super is so much more creative than all that.
Yeah,
Yes,
Dragon Ball
thankfully-
Super took those like really out there weird ideas and then reined them in a little bit and like made little references to them. So like the further you get, they even make references to what's that YouTube series where they dub over fake
Abridged.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they make little jokes like
the best
related to
YouTube
that.
series.
Man,
It
it's
is
so
fantastic.
cool.
Have you guys seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged?
I haven't seen that.
No, I have not.
I
That
feel
sounds
like
awesome.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is my favorite.
I've heard really
Is it
good
by the same
things about
guys?
it. I've heard it's hilarious.
I think it's by the same guys. It's
Team
I
4-Star.
could be wrong, but it is so good, and I don't know. It's good for the same reasons that the Abridged series is, because the Abridged series makes fun of the things that you make fun of in the animes,
Sure.
and there's just so much to make fun of in Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's fair.
Right.
Having
There's
watched
a
Yu-Gi-Oh!
million
in the
things
past,
we-
I know exactly what you mean.
That being said, I can still watch the shit out of that first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Though.
Fair.
I really enjoyed it.
Anything past that,
I freaking love the game, but then they've added so much that I don't even know what's going on anymore.
here's the thing: the game was fun, but the reason the first season I liked it so much was because it was nothing like the game. Like, the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh!, the rules of the game are basically like, if you can bullshit this, we'll believe you.
Yeah.
And
Now
then
we
from-
have actual products to sell, so
Yeah.
let's just push that for the rest of all Yu-Gi-Oh! So
Well, and I feel like that was the problem, was after the first season, they were like, let's actually follow the rules of the card game, and lo and behold, it's not a lot of fun to watch an anime about an actual fucking card game. It's more fun to play
Weird,
a card
huh?
game than watch it.
yeah, we got Twitch for that.
Have
Yeah.
you guys seen the YouTube video where it turns Uno, the card game, into an anime?
Yes.
Oh, I love that video so
It's
much.
so good.
Have you seen the Pot of Greed video?
I don't
They
think I
say
have.
every single time they bring out Pot of Greed in the anime, and so they describe every freaking card every single time. And Pot of Greed is like, this will allow me to draw 2 additional cards on top of this card
Yeah.
every single time.
Jeez.
One of the best parts of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, what could you please describe that card again, even though you've played it 4 times in the past
We
5
know
episodes.
what it does.
You know what it does.
Even though, how did they know? They had to memorize that shit, because those cards didn't have descriptions on them. Remember?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just had images.
Because there was a scene in the first season where one of the people wanted to play a card, but they actually said, in the anime, I want to play this card, but I can't remember what it does. What the fuck?
Yeah, right.
That would be awful. Could you
It
imagine?
sure
Like,
would.
let's just lay this down and maybe I'll die. I don't know.
Well, then later she's like,
Mystical
now I do
cards.
remember what this card does. These rules are terrible. Like,
I remember. Ugh, that's an expensive hobby. Not as bad as Magic, but
well, I don't know.
any card hobby.
I play Magic, but I don't know. I guess it's easier once you're an adult. Not that it gets easier to buy the cards. It gets easier to say, I'm good with what I have.
Yeah, I don't.
That's
need
fair.
It's me and my friends when we play Magic. We're like, yeah, we buy something occasionally, but we can't afford to really just let this take us over. Like in high school and college, I had no money because of card games.
To, right?
Thanks,
I had
card
no
games.
money because of comics, man. They got so expensive.
Comics did
Nowadays,
get
I-
really expensive.
I just wait for digital, man.
I just
the way
wait for
to
the
go.
bound editions where it's like an entire story arc in one thing.
Yes, yeah.
That's one way to do
Oh.
it. Yeah.
It's so hard waiting. Like, I mean, it's hard enough waiting for a week for a TV show. Like waiting a whole month for a comic. That's some grandpa stuff, man. I want.
Although
things
that is
now.
why. That's why I like. God, I love Netflix when they release a show, because then it's just like, I'm gonna binge this.
Speaking of which, holy crap! Why did I not know that The Arrow and The Flash were good TV shows?
I've
And
told
they're
you
not-
that before. I watched them.
Whatever.
Yeah, a ton of
They're
people
like-
have told me that they're great. So
I
Did you
had
start
no
watching?
idea. Yeah, I'm on season 4 of The Arrow, season 2 of The Flash, and about to start Legends of
Oh, so you're
Tomorrow.
like watching them in order, like you watched.
Yeah,
Arrow
I'm
up
watching
until-
in order.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
It's
so
hard
I
to
don't
do,
screw
but
up
yeah, that's
timelines,
good.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Legends of Tomorrow, but it's a fun show, especially
Yeah.
with all the characters. I love Green Arrow and the Flash.
Green Arrow. Well, I mean, the Flash first season was okay, but the second season is blowing my mind.
I mean, it was.
It's
I liked the
good.
first season, but it was definitely one of those ones where it's like we're establishing some stuff.
Yeah,
Second
it got
season-
really formulaic for
Yeah.
a while, but now it's like
second season though. Boom.
yeah.
Also,
Zoom,
Grant.
man,
I
is
think
such a cool villain.
Zoom is so good, and I think his name is Grant Gustin, the lead character. He's such a
In
good
real
Flash.
life.
He's such a good Barry Allen.
Yeah. I liked the Justice League movie. Just makes me want a Flash movie, but I
Right.
guess I'll have to deal with the amazing TV show.
But you're getting a Flash movie, Flashpoint.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
I remember now.
next
That's-
year
yeah.
because Aquaman is at the end of this year, and then next year's Flashpoint.
Don't screw it up. You probably will.
They probably will. Although I will say, I think Flashpoint has the best chance of being good because, as we saw, Ezra Miller, no matter what you give him, will steal the show.
Yeah.
Fair.
I also watched Vixen. It's like a little cartoon series that was set
Yeah.
in the Arrow Flash universe.
Yeah, because she's in.
That's a pretty
she's in like
cool-
an episode of Arrow.
Yeah. Which is a pretty cool little mini series thing.
She's a cool hero. Like I like her powers.
I know, like, because it's not far-fetched at all, and it's different. Because it's like ancestral power and stuff. It's
Mhm.
more mystical. I don't know. I like that.
She kicks butt.
Yeah. She doesn't want to, but she does.
Brock, do you watch Arrow or Flash?
I do not. I'm not caught up on any of
You
that.
should
should.
give it a try.
It's on Netflix.
It is.
Good to know.
And then they like
have so
blend
many
the
shows.
universes. It's just great.
They're crossovers.
I
like,
have heard really,
Ever-
really good things about all those shows.
Everyone
Yeah.
says that no matter how, like, because sometimes in the middle of the season, some of the episodes get a little bland, or like they'll go a couple episodes where, kind of like Josh said, it gets a little formulaic. Their crossover events that span like four different shows are always super cool.
Really fun, yeah.
Because Supergirl's part of it too.
Yeah, Supergirl. I haven't gotten to her, but because she comes in about episode 18 with the Arrow and the Flash in season 4 and 2 or whatever. But so I'll probably just watch them all the way through to 18 and then watch all 4 of those shows together. It'll be crazy. But
It's a different show, I'll say that, but Supergirl's pretty good. The characters in it are really well done.
that's cool. I never would have thought that I would want to watch an Arrow or a Supergirl TV show. But holy crap, the Arrow like hooked me from episode 1.
I've always been a fan of Green Arrow, like ever since I was a little kid. So, although when they were making the Arrow show, I was skeptical, and I actually didn't watch it for a couple seasons, and then I gave it a try and thought, oh, I should have started this from the beginning.
I guess I never even really knew the backstory because I've always been a Marvel guy, and so I love the idea of archers and rogue type characters, but I never gave it a shot. And
Same with me. I think that's why I
missed
liked
out
them.
on all kinds of things.
I've always been pretty split on DC and Marvel. I guess I lean a little bit towards Marvel, especially since Spider-Man's my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at my comics right now, and I was going to say that I'm more of a Marvel guy, but I think I have more DC comics simply because I have a lot of Green Lantern and I have a lot of Batman.
Yeah, Batman is just
and then for
unbeatable.
Marvel, I have a lot of Spider-Man, and then I got like some Wolverine.
I just love the peripheral characters in Marvel a lot better. They're just, I don't know, like Mr. Fantastic and Black Panther and Luke Cage and I don't know, I love those.
Black Panther
non-mainstream.
Black Panther coming up.
Whew. When
You
is
know
that?
that movie?
What day
You
is
know
that?
That's I don't know what day it is. I know it's February, but it's like mid-February, I think.
Wow.
Nice.
That's crazy.
It's
So
gonna
sick.
be so good.
It's coming up.
And then that's the last movie before
Dun,
For
dun,
Infin-
dun, dun, dun,
for
dun,
Infinity
dun,
War.
dun, 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 dun. Infinity. Da, 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 da. Wars. Dun, 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 dun. Marvel.
That's
a good place to end,
their
right?
song. Yeah.
That just happened. It's
It
beautiful.
just happened. Yeah, it's a
Sure
good
has
enough
been.
place to end this train wreck of a podcast.
It's been a beautiful podcast this time around.
Check
This
your
is going to be
balls.
the one.
Don't forget.
But before we let you go, we got to pitch you some stuff.
Wait,
guys
the
know-
bubble is
You guys-
spherical. Don't forget that.
Yeah, bubbles are okay. So we're still doing this. If you like balls, we have a Patreon. It has nothing to do with balls. But we have a Patreon.
Well, every
It's,
person we've established has balls, unless you're a woman who's had both eyes taken out. And,
and then
I
if
mean,
that's
your
if
eggs,
that's the case,
your ovaries
we are
could
very
be-
sorry, and you should seek reparations.
Yeah, find that person who took your eyes. If it's God, we'll help you.
Get some help
Track 'em
though,
down.
because you don't have eyes. So we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/thenerdcult. Go there. Every little bit helps. If you just want to do $1 a month, that would be very, very helpful. If you do $2 a month, I think it's $2 a month. You'll have to go there and check, but it's either $2 or $3 a month. You get access to some special episodes we got. Our episodes from the in-between, you get access to those before anybody else. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait a little bit. Same thing if you want to give $5 a month. You get access to all our cool videos, like video reviews, all that good stuff. Otherwise, like I said, you'll have to wait a little bit to see them. And like we said, every little bit helps. Any that you give us is going straight into the podcast so that we can do more stuff. Like, we're not just pocketing it and being like, let's go get stuff. No, we're...
Go buy
Giveaways.
some
More-
the
crack
more you
cocaine.
get, the more we can do this.
Goes back to you.
Goes back to you.
The fans.
Yep. Also, we're on iTunes. If you want to help us out there, give us a rating on iTunes. Give us a review and a rating.
5 stars.
Helps out a lot. Yeah, 5 stars.
Perfect rating, please.
Because you know we're that good. But yeah, that helps us out a lot. Otherwise, you can find us at our website, which has our new URL, nerdcultpodcast.com.
Yeah.
URL.
We are so official.
So professional.
So official.
Yep.
It's a real website now.
Otherwise, we're on social media everywhere. You can find us on Facebook and Tumblr at The Nerd Cult. You can find us on Twitter at Nerd Cult Podcast. Be sure and share our stuff. Retweet us. Tell your friends about us. Spoken word. That's how we get this. That's how we get this out there. Let people know.
Indeed.
More people come listen to us. You can email us at nerdcultpodcast@gmail.com. Email us your questions, your comments, anything you want. Anything you want to talk about.
Anything in the world.
Anything in the
Relationship
world.
problems.
We can
Just
answer
that lump.
those.
That lump on your testicle.
We're doctors.
We're doctors.
Try and make it nerdy and geek related, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, do what you can. Do your
What
best.
We crave human companionship, so.
We do. We really do. That's why
It's
we're
lonely.
doing a podcast.
In this world.
This game called life.
Follow me at Brocculonatron on Twitter if you want to. Otherwise, you can find me at any of our other social media accounts.
I say this every time. I'm gonna start posting more on Twitter, so you can follow me if you want.
But if you start posting more, then you can't say that, and then it's just not you.
I know, right? And then I lose my shtick. But what is it? It's Josh D for at Josh D.
Why are you
Forster.
asking me? You're Twitter.
You use Twitter. I know.
I do. I don't like, because you guys are never on there, so I don't do anything with... Well, Brock's on there from his Instagram, so...
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I'm here.
We went to college right when Facebook like opened, and so I'm stuck on Facebook.
It just came out of nowhere.
We're
It
too
was
old
really
to
weird.
switch.
I didn't
now,
know,
Okay?
I didn't know where he was going with it for a
We
second.
went to college.
Because you just paused. You were like, we went to college. I thought you were yelling at me for not associating with you on Twitter or something. Like, Tyler, we went to college together.
Together.
Damn.
Why do?
Why do you ignore me on Twitter? I don't.
It's been a
Just
good
ignore
plug. Good plug.
you. So,
All right.
Josh is stuck on Facebook because it's what he knows.
It's all we know.
And I hate social media so much. The only reason I'm still on Facebook is because people would be mad if I wasn't.
I'd be mad.
right?
I would be mad.
I'd be really mad.
People would just be like, well, he's
Especially,
weird.
I would be super mad, especially since I took that year off from Facebook a couple years ago, and the whole reason I came back was because one of the reasons was I was messaging Josh, and Josh was like, "You should come back to Facebook. It's the only way that like we communicate."
That's actually fair.
So
Yeah.
if you
That's-
left,
yeah.
I would just text you and be like, "Really, motherfucker?"
I mean, there's so many people I wouldn't even know how to
They would
contact.
just stop existing at that point, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm a solipsist. You guys don't exist when I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah.
That's accurate, yeah.
I don't know how we do this podcast. We somehow remember to contact each other to set up stuff.
It's all
It's
just done in
incredible.
dreams.
Yeah.
Abstract Josh thoughts. Somehow it comes
Yeah,
together.
We're all part of Josh's dreams,
it's the Matrix. We're back to the Matrix.
and we've come
Hope
full
you guys enjoy your tubes.
circle.
Check your balls and
Can I
your
even
tubes.
whistle that? I think I can.
Was you doing
Check
the?
your tubes.
Was that X Files?
That was X-Files.
Nice. I
Yeah.
liked it. That's not whistling
That's
at all.
That's a small
Yes, that was a
diameter.
whistle.
Oh, and
don't know how
guys,
to
don't
whistle,
don't
alright.
forget about the giveaway. Just find us on Twitter. Click on the link that I'll put in the show notes. Go there, retweet us, follow us, enter for a chance to win 3 cool prizes. Other than that, thanks for joining the cult once again. I'm Tyler Lee.
I'm Brock Parsons.
And I love you.
And remember, never don't bubble.